Hey guys, what's going on and welcome back to the Bradford Save, where I bring you news for the youth intake which has already happened. Now, fairly decent one actually, truth be told. Two good prospects at the top here, Jack Poulton, Jamie Dunk. Josip Kasic is not that far behind either, German. Attacking midfielder slash striker, he joins last year's best prospect, Kingsley Hodgkinson, on this same potential rating there. But obviously bear in mind these potentials are wildly probably far away from what they actually are, considering the quality of our staff. Naturally, at this point in the game, I've already scouted players that I know develop, and they haven't been given that great of potential sometimes, and sometimes players I know that aren't going to develop that far have been given great potential. So I'm well aware that our staff are nowhere near up to scratch in terms of ranking potential, but 2 4, maybe 5s, Joseph Cage is on a 4, alongside Kingsley Hodgkin, who has actually grown from last year. I don't think I really mentioned him when it happened last year round because he was 5'1" and 7 stone. I was slightly worried the wet and windy night was going to be the problem for a wet and windy night in Stoke in terms of him performing. Like, I was really worried just a stiff breeze was going to knock him over. But he has grown 3 inches and a stone in weight. So that's the thing I wasn't 100% sure happened in Football Manager, is if players actually did grow. Clearly a late bloomer in life, but there we are. So he is now not ridiculously unprepared for the physicality of English football anymore. That being said, Jack Poulton's not that much better at this point, but he is a year younger. So if that happens to him, then hopefully he grows into a position where he's sort of average at best in terms of height and weight. Oh, there was also a guy on that list called Lamont Tufton, which is a great name, but he's never going to play for us, probably. So today's games, West Ham and Swansea. West Ham have actually put in a good shift recently, moved themselves back into the playoff positions. We can't play Connor Coventry because that's where he's on loan from. And then Swansea, who are still top away from home. However, the rest of February went all right, actually, after the Stoke disappointment, really. 2-1 at home at Sheffield United. Hull was 1-1 away, Middlesbrough 0-0 at home, and then we smashed Millwall 5-1. I did switch at this point here to a 4-3-3 just because I wanted to see how good the 3 striker system was this year. And after 2 games, wasn't really overwhelmed by it. And then Millwall happened, and we scored 5 away from home. Mason Greenwood getting 2, Curtis Jones. Oh, that was the other reason for doing that as well, because Klopp came to me once again saying, "Can you play Jones some more?" And I kind of had to say yes. So we had to move to a system that sort of accommodated Curtis Jones, as well as Saramago, who was playing really well. And I kind of felt guilty that Saramago started playing well as I signed Greenwood, so I put all 3 of them on the pitch. And smashed Millwall 5-1. However, West Ham and Swansea are probably going to be slightly sterner tests, so I'm going to go to a slightly more defensive system for these games. Right, so West Ham at home, we line up as such: Correa, Garcia, O'Connor and Lamb, Golubovic in goal, O'Brien, Norman, Frere in the middle. I have pushed that defensive position up slightly further, 3-man central midfield, Texera, Dalcio as inside forwards on a narrow system which allows the wing-backs to go past them, hopefully. And then Greenwood is the striker today. There was a third reason, by the way, for playing 4-3-3 the past few games, and that's because Simon Kirk got injured as well, so our first choice right midfielder was out of the game. I think Dalcio was also returning to fitness during that same time, so I didn't really have a lot of wingers to use at that point in time either, so I figured, why not try 4-3-3 for a bit, see how it works. Mixed and maybe good. Still undecided at this point. However, West Ham and Swansea are probably slightly stern opposition regardless, so slightly more restricted formation here. I'm just going to see how playing the DLP slightly further up works. If it doesn't work, then I'll pull him back for the Swansea game. Curtis Jones is on the bench in case you want to go for a more attacking formation at any point. Manny is back to full fitness, so he is on the bench too. Saramago, unfortunately, a casualty of playing a one striker system. Like I said, Coventry can't play against West Ham because he's on loan from West Ham. That's why O'Brien is starting despite falling out of the first team side. You can see from his average rating now, only 7.11. I say only 7.1 because it was 7.4 in the early stages of this season. He has dropped off the last month or so in terms of performances. Still 7 goals to his name, but the last one was scored about 2 months ago. Well, that kind of shows our formation slightly more defensive looking than it actually is, really. They've put those 3 directly in front of our defence, but oh well. No one has a face for West Ham for some reason. As you can see from this, the recent forward standings are West Ham in 3rd. We're bang in the middle in 10th. They've won 4 of the last 5 games. Well, that's worked a lot better. Now, someone was nervous. So, still on the 2D system. Just want to feel it out maybe for the rest of the season. And That wasn't a highlight at all. I've never seen a kickoff end so quickly. I can see Felipe Anderson has already been a little bit busy this week, potentially. He is far more tired than everyone else in their team. And that is Lanzini on a free kick, which doesn't go to anyone on the rebound save from Golubovic there. Ferreira is running free. Whether this is still a continuing highlight or not is yet to be decided. It does seem to be, though. Back to Lamb. Nope. It tricked me. That was very rude of it. So sort of even get... No, actually, they are dominating the possession right now. Switch to cautious while they're doing this domination. Oxford heads over. Yeah, so while they seem to be dominating the possession, I'm just going to run this a little bit more cautious. But that has actually brought us back into the game, weirdly enough. But it is 0-0 at half-time. 6 shots each. We've had 4 on target, though. Give them some passion at half-time. That sounded weird, now I say it out loud. But Norman on the ball here. O'Brien. Will we get anything immediately from the kickoff? No. That's equally disappeared as quickly as the first one did. And I'm not sure this game is actually going to provide any meaningful highlights. As I say, as Greenwood runs through, but that's just a little bit too much, and it does go to their defenders, who pass it slightly further forward already, but already pinning them back again. So, defensive error? No. They've manoeuvred out of that one. Felipe Anderson on this left-hand side. Felipe Anderson still playing for West Ham in the Championship. Much props to him there, considering I believe he's already been tied to higher clubs. And Lanzini is scored. Well, I was talking about Felipe Anderson in real life there, not in-game. I've not actually seen him talked about in-game as such. But I know he's already been tied to higher clubs in the Premier League in real life. But he does pass it to Lanzini here, who just does basically a pot shot from the edge of the... And that's, yeah, not the best save from Golubovic, if we're honest here. Well, that's 1-0 down to West Ham, but they are on a good run here. So, frankly, any points against these two games would be a pretty good miracle. I am just going to switch it back to this sort of more formation here and put those in their preferred positions, of course. That would help. And, of course, I kind of do have to go positive here a little bit just to try and get something out of this game. Oh, we have a corner here, guys. Texera. Garcia. I don't know why I said guys as if you hadn't even noticed. You're watching the same thing I am. Reeves. Almost regret bringing you on there. We're getting control of this game, but nothing has happened, unfortunately. Well, as a sub, I've got one more sub to make of 40 seconds to make it in, so it's not really going to make any difference, is it? Let's face it. And looks like West Ham are going to come away from the Valley Parade Stadium with the 1-0 win. Yep, wonder goal provided the difference here. That is a bit of a shame. It ended up being a far more even game than it started. Just calmly disappointed with that one, not massively so. But yeah, Swansea to come away from home. We did beat Swansea early in the season at home. Just want to point this out real quickly. Millwall just got smashed 5-1 again. Oh dear, Millwall. So as you see here, we did win the last meeting between these two sides. And what is curious is even though now we're the away side, the pre-match odds here are a lot tighter than they were when it was the other way around this season, which is a little bit curious. Now, one thing to also point out here is 49 points. We are 1 point away from the magical 50 points they say is safety in the Championship, which Middlesbrough have already just reached. We are 11 points clear of Hull, and we're 11 points away from 6th place Cardiff, despite being 16th. So we're pretty much slap bang in between those two bits right now, which is, frankly, excellent to me at this point. Portsmouth have managed to get back ahead of us, though, annoyingly. I do want to finish ahead of Portsmouth. That's the main goal this season. Finish ahead against the other teams that came up with this. Barnsley I don't think is going to be a problem. But Portsmouth have performed even better than we have, frankly. Really, considering they came up via the playoffs. And here we go. We line up. I am going to go for the more defensive version of what we just had there, with the Norman further back and on a cautious mentality from the start. Otherwise, literally no changes. 4-4-2 for them. Some faces involved. They actually acquired Carlin Grant, which annoyed the hell out of me. I know he's a good one that you can pick up. Some initial stress has gone away. There we are. Right then. Grant kicks off for them, and we see this be kicked around before it vanishes once more into the depths until we get a highlight. 6 minutes in. More out to Nego. Have to be careful with that one. Fur, who is still valiantly playing in the Championship, despite probably having better abilities than that. But more out to Norton. And they are passing incredibly slowly, and this, I don't know what's happening here. I feel like the Benny Hill theme should be playing. That's a great through ball, and Connor has... Well, I don't know what O'Connor's done there, if I'm honest. He was tracking Kramer all the way until the point where he actually picked up the ball. I have absolutely no idea what's happening. I mean, this is a great through ball, but like he's tracking him, and no, I'll just go behind him here. Yeah, you may do that with your hands, but it's all your fault. This drops down to 16th. We already were 16th. But we do have the ball in and around their penalty area. Back to Norman on this side here. Now, I forget whether it's Norman or Coventry that can smack it in. I may have forgotten to put him back on the pitch. Can't remember now. I may have told a lie at the start of this. We do have one switch, and that's where Brian came off, I think. For Coventry, who obviously didn't play last match because he couldn't. Nope. Not sure what's happening here and why they have got so much space over there. And that's nearly 2-0. Yeah, so I did tell a lie. Coventry came on for O'Brien. Forgot about that. Apologies. Texera, though, swings that in. That's... Well, it's been picked up by a goalie, so unless he makes a catastrophic error right now and just smacks it against number 33 Greenwood, I believe that to be, then I'm not sure what was the highlight here. But we do have picked up the ball again. Barrera. He is going to give it to Norman, who is free in the middle. Greenwood with a bit of space to give it to Lamb on the wing, who has excellently done. Well, that was great, except the fact there was nobody to pick up on it. And Nego's pinched it off Texera. Right. And is running down this side, but Texera picks that back up again, redeems himself, and practically immediately Garcia. O'Connor, this is all the bearings of a poaching defender situation. Nope. Okay. Glovovic gets it to Ferreira, who has managed to run free of number 14, but they have recovered and swamped him. Back to Nego. This highlight is going on forever, and nothing's actually happened. There we are, poached. Oh my god, it was a defensive error, and Greenwood has, despite smacking the post the first time, got it in the goal. Wow, that was an intensely long highlight, which ended it with far more excitement than the previous minute and a half worth of commentary provided there. But it was a defensive error in the end, but about 2 minutes later, smacks the post the first time, gets it in the second. Well, we nearly butchered that. 1-1 then. Magical 50 points ahoy, essentially. It is worth mentioning that of the previous simulator season in the Championship, 21st place did manage that 50 points, and that was the marker for safety last season, actually. So 50 points feels somewhat safe. We are actually on top of this game. 62%, 7 shots to 2. Wasn't paying attention, really. But yeah, Lanzini's put another goal ahead of Bristol here for West Ham. Right. Assertive. Dig in, please. I mean, O'Connor, you were kind of that bad. I just noticed he's on a 6.1, probably for making that mistake. The thing with defenders is you can't just really switch. I always feel really bad about taking defenders off for some reason, like central defenders off. I feel like it weakens the side when you swap a defender, regardless if the defender you swap out is already playing badly. Oh, that's where Jack Colback is these days. Swansea, apparently. He's up to a 6.2 though. Nothing has happened this half. And I actually don't know what to do at this point. I think I'm going to take Darcy off. I'm just going to bob Jones in there, even though he doesn't enjoy that position. Might be better off swapping these guys over, actually. Yeah, he's slightly less miffed about being on the left-hand side. I think he is a right-footed player. But otherwise, I don't really feel like I need to make any changes here. Everyone's at reasonable fitness. Except for a couple of people now. So 10 minutes to go. Manny for Thierry, and Norman is the other one, slightly lagging behind. Needs a slight slagging there. Right, 2 straight swaps. Just get those people who are dipped under 70% first off the pitch. And nothing has happened this half. However, there is a highlight with 40 seconds to go, which may just dash our hopes of this point from Swansea. It'd be crazy if Swansea go up in first and we go undefeated against them for the season. I mean, that probably sums up Bradford. That probably sums up our season if that was to happen. Oh, they have got it behind it. Oh no, that's going to happen. momentarily more worried than I ought to have been there. And yeah, full-time whistle has blown, in fact, so we have hit the magical 50 points. Swansea will have a happier set of supporters this evening after gaining a draw against Bradford. Well, yeah, on the game, like as of the game, yes. As of the league position and pre-game prediction, no. I'd say I'm more happy than Swansea are. What are you talking about, Simon Baker of 442.com? Hold on, lads. You avoided defeat. Ajax have hind de Boer. Don't know what's happened there, but we are now 15th in the league. We have leapfrogged Middlesbrough, who did not win their game this week. And have that magical 50 points, along with Brentford as well. Looks like they managed to get 3 points off, well, Millwall, who have managed to lose despite scoring again, who are now teetering in 21st. They are the team for that Hull will look to get ahead of. Which, of course, means that today's game's all wrapped up, and we have hit the magical safety barrier of 50 points, well, the presumed safety barrier at the very least, which means we don't really need to focus on the remaining games all that much. And I have sort of brought you back a little bit narrower gaps than usual the last 2 episodes, though. Probably a slightly longer gap, and I'll just bring you the last 2 games. Considering there probably won't be a lot to play for towards the end of this season, probably just bring you the last 2 games at this point. So, feel like we've got safety now, so until next time, ta-ra.